Alright, Lanta, so yesterday I asked you, what do you think about the first ever Magic Society banner? A new banner theme, albeit very similar to the previous Cacao Society, featuring a new Askin, Giselle, and also Esno. Personally, for me, I'm a massive fan of this banner. Obviously, I am biased because I do like Giselle as a character, and she ended up being the best in the banner once more. But Askin and also Esna are also some of my favorite Quincy's in the entire series, so having all three of them in a banner with really cool designs is a massive plus for me, and I definitely will be summoning on this banner. Will I be going down to 0? We'll have to wait and see. But I think the big selling point on this banner is the characters themselves. All three of them are popular, they have really cool designs, and the banner fillers are amazing. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about this banner, and it seems like the opinion is likely shared. So let's go ahead and scroll down and see what some of you lads have to say. So first up, we have Slayer, Wixay, and Caleb made a fatal mistake, making Askin fans mad. So on this topic, right, because I've seen a few disappointment from Askin being a farming character, and in reality, it's only now just clicked for me after seeing Askin that maybe Guild Quest characters aren't so bad. Because, you know, over the last few months, maybe even year at this point, a big thing about new characters that, you know, there's a lot of criticism on them is that they're made for Guild Quests. But in reality, they're good outside of Guild Quests. They're good everywhere else. They just get better in Guild Quests. And the only place you really can't bring them to a certain extent is Limit Breaker. But that's really only if you're going for like the very highest scores possible, or the highest clearance reward in total. And those that can't really be used in Limit Breaker are those that have, you know, the bad killers, Squad Zero, Espada, etc. Like, if you're a Guild Quest character with Quincy Killer, and there's a Quincy Killer Limit Breaker, you're honestly fine. When it comes to farming characters, in the case for Askin, right, you know, in my particular example, I've already maxed out my entire box. If I pull Askin, I have no use for him whatsoever. Now, that doesn't mean farming characters shouldn't exist. And you know what, if I really like Askin's gameplay, I can use him at the very least and have fun with him. So, like, I'm not upset by any means that Askin is a farming character. But I've seen a lot of people upset that he is. And at that point, I can kind of now see why Caleb do give us a lot of Guild Quest characters, because they're the ones that matter the most. If your main reason for playing this game is for Guild Quest content, that's why we get them. And if you don't care about Guild Quest and you just want fun characters, I mean, those Guild Quest characters can still be fun, even if they are maybe limited outside of the Guild Quest game mode. But continuing on, this slide just says, good banner, good units, good filler, good job, Caleb. Super simple, straight to the point, and I think I share the same opinion. This slide is saying, nice banner, nice character selection, and very good fillers, but I have to start saving for June mid-month and swimsuits and the anniversary. And in all honesty, in hindsight, when we find out what might be upcoming, that might very well be the play. Honestly, 10th anniversary is going to be a big deal. Part 1 and 2 alone are going to contain some very exciting characters, and you're likely going to want to have some orbs for it. And in the worst case scenario, let's say you have to go to pity at 25 steps. Me personally, I like to have 5,000 orbs per part, so 10,000 orbs for the anniversary, and right now is a perfect time to start saving. With the amount of orbs that we do get monthly, you can get around 2,000 to 3,000, so you have plenty of time to save. And these characters that you skip out on now, you will eventually get later on. While I do think this is actually a really good banner, what the characters do offer, which we might see some people say later in the comments, they aren't entirely unique. Like, Giselle is a really good mind sword killer, but we have other good sword killers. Esnor is a really good captain killer, but we have pretty good captain killers. And then Askin is a farmer, but we have access to some pretty good farmers. So if you are someone that just wants to pull for what is going to improve your account, maybe to a certain extent, this banner is worth skipping for those upcoming banners, whatever they may be. Monkey See You is saying, Aaroniero, how much did you pay Caleb for this banner? I know, right? Again, right? Like, I'm a pretty big Giselle fan. I don't mention Giselle all that much. Maybe I do, I don't know. So being a Giselle fan, it's been quite great getting two very amazing Giselle characters. The fact that both of them have EX skills, both of them been designed for Limit Breaker, both of them have the new status element Dominate, now with Dominate Plus. They're the best potential character for the ranged and midi sword killer. It's kind of just funny in all honesty. Having said that, listen, if Caleb were going by what I personally like, we would have a lot of Aaroniero by now, and we unfortunately don't. But yeah, in total, we did some bribing. I might have messaged Oliver to cook this banner up a few months ago. This lad is saying excellent banner, very beautiful theme. I agree. I mean, it's different compared to last year. Last year we did get Future Society. Maybe I wouldn't have mind this banner also being Future Society. And in a way, like I said, it is its own thing, but it is very similar to Cacao Society that we got, a few years back. But I don't mind that. I kind of like Cacao Society. And I think the design for these 3 characters are actually very well done. That even if it is similar to Cacao Society, but different, I honestly don't mind. I think they're all great. As far as an all-in best banner of the year so far, I would probably agree, yeah. We've had some pretty good characters this far this year. I mean, Endem of January I thought was pretty good. More so for Esnot, but there was a lot of criticism thrown towards that. Esnot not being in his vote standing, and Nananan Driscoll won. Super exciting. I thought February Endem was pretty good. But whether you like Parasols or not really comes down to you. And then the most recent end of month banner with the Tres Bestia. I liked it, but they weren't the most exciting characters. So I guess this is the first banner with 3 popular characters with really good design. So I can see where you're coming from with this being the best banner of the year. Although I would say Full Hollow and also Aaroniero would be my number 1 best banner of the year thus far. But the banner format and the fillers definitely didn't do it any justice. Valkyrie is saying thought it was a Halloween banner at first. Fillers are not bad. Characters are not bad. Wish they made first 5-step cheaper now. I mean, I would never say no to better format in all honesty, especially for end of month banners. This lad saying Giselle. Oh no. I'm gonna tweak. I need that unit. This lad is saying almost finished Arcane Season 2. Banging show, by the way. So the magic themes are great. Giselle is literally a necromancer. I don't think I've connected the dots. That makes sense. Esnot with a snake is amazing. And my dude Arskin is rocking the chemist vibe fit. Gonna go all in since I love all 3 characters and they have been amazingly designed. Hoping for Arskin and Esnot, but I'm happy with any of them. Want them all though. All the best to everyone pulling. Likewise to you. This lad says good selection, but I don't like Giselle is the main in both Guild Quest and Limit Breaker again. I already don't like the character in the series, and her last character was avoiding me until last month with the 3,000 year Blood War summon. And yeah, I get where you're coming from. Honestly, I'm biased towards Giselle, so I really like that Giselle has been the Limit Breaker and GQ character once more. Is that based on Giselle's popularity? I'm not too sure. You never know what's going on with Caleb. But compared to some of the other Quinties and how they've been treated, I could understand the dislike that someone like Giselle has been given 2 amazing units. Not like it's that big of a deal, but someone like Little Toto hasn't been given even her first canon character just yet. We haven't even gotten BG9 in the game just yet. Esnot hasn't had a super broken character just yet. Although I'm not going to downplay Esnot's characters, his 3 characters thus far have all been good. And as an Esnot fan, I'm perfectly satisfied with the character he has been given, but I would love a super broken 9th Annie level Esnot in all honesty. HT Studio says, this banner looks sick. Love the characters, abilities, and filler. Wish Yama and Ichigo were replaced with newer units, but the only real issue is that they came out right after Aaroniero, and Caleb hate my orb count. And again, Caleb know what they're doing too, right? 2 back-to-back banners, in my opinion. And then the anniversary's coming up in a few months. It is 3 months away. It's definitely something we should be considering. I feel like it's only going to get crazier from here on out. And maybe that's why. Had you skipped those last 3 end of month banners, the, Esnot Driscoll banner, the Tres Bestia banner, the seasonal Shinji banner. Hopefully, if you did skip those, you have plenty of orbs to spare. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I did think I had the opinion that the last 3 end of months had been skips. I mean, I pulled on them, but I didn't go down to 0. I put on them because I wanted the characters, I like what they offered, but nothing thus far until maybe now has been a must summon. This lad is saying we need oiled up versions of the 1. I'm not okay. By the way, W banner. Who is the 1? The Sunflower Mayuri next banner believers are in shambles. Now I'm feeling sorry for them. Don't. Because it will eventually happen. It's only a matter of time, right? If you are someone that only cares about Sunflower Mayuri, you only now have more time to save, so you shouldn't be, all too worried about it. Binks is saying, best banner of 2025, we going 25 steps. I might be there with you. I don't want to, because I want to save for the upcoming banners, even with this banner being as good as it is. But with the filler pool, I wouldn't mind doing 25 steps. Draco is saying it's an awesome banner, especially love GG, I assume is what you're trying to say, and Esnot in this. Kat saying the visuals look great, especially Esnot, and him being a Nat character, W with those visuals. I love the character choices, and the fillers grant 5 steps at least, but I hope I do get lucky. Hopefully you do. While on that topic too, right? Again, while I would always love a very broken, powerful spiritual pressure S-Note. We did just get a good SP S-Note recently, less than like 3 months ago. So him to getting another character now is kind of funny. I don't mind him being a normal type damage character. I think his visuals look very good for a normal type damage character, by the way. And again, personally, at this point, I'm kind of getting over the whole Guild Quest scandal. Guild Quest skills. I would love for a very powerful Nad character, but I feel like my opinion on GQ characters has kind of softened over the time, maybe because of the most recent Senkaman update. These characters have places in there now. Because while yes, Esnot has only Flurry +2 in Guild Quest, outside of Guild Quest he's fine. His boost and also debuff is going to be really good in that mode, but in Senkamon, you can definitely use him to clear a stage. Alexander is saying, happy to see limited banners and not 1000-year Blood War. I was hoping for Cacao Society or Desert Society, but this does work. Technically, to a certain extent, this is a 1000-year Blood War banner. They are treated as such, but it is still different. It's seasonal characters, right? I mean, they'll be treated like 1000-year Blood War, but I still see it as a seasonal banner. And eventually, like the Swimsuit Bambis, they will likely be pasted in a lot of upcoming banners. It might be like 7-8 months from now, but these characters will eventually become fillers. I mean, Tenjiro and Oetsu are already fillers. And I think the banner schedule that we have been getting thus far this year, I think is going in a good order. January end of month being canon, February end of month being seasonal, March end of month being canon, and then now April end of month being seasonal. June end of month is going to be swimsuits, right? So that means next end of month, if it can be a canon banner. For those that only care about canon, you have 2 months to save for the next big banner. And for those that like seasonal characters, you're getting a good amount of those every 2 months. So I feel like the banner order and the banners Caleb have been doing this year have actually been pretty good. Daniel was saying here for the banner units, stayed for the fillers. I hear it, I hear it. Tyler is saying Caleb cooked with this one. In my opinion, 8 out of 10 units, 7 out of 10 filler. 10 to 15 steps summoning. Big Johnson saying, I'm deadass, need Tenjiro bad. Bro, like really bad. And yeah, that's again the best part about this filler, right? Tenjiro is a must-have Guild Quest character in my opinion if you care about Guild Quest scores. He's one of those characters that I don't think everyone realized the value he actually brought to your account. But he has been a must-use in a lot of Guild Quest phases when using swipers, and there's a lot of good swipers out there. So just like Gremmy for Quincy's, he's a must-have character. And again, you can also now use him in Senkamon, right? Tony is saying Yugrim instead of asking would have been good. I mean, I guess Yugrim is also a popular character. Maybe in that case, given that Yugrim has yet to get an anime 1000-year Blood War character, it would have been more appropriate. Askin just received one, and now he's getting another one. It's a seasonal, but still. Maybe getting a character that didn't already get one recently would have been a tad bit better, but I'm fine with the character choicing personally. Ali is saying their designs, their animations, everything about them is one of the best things Caleb have done. The first time I don't know who I want the most, I want them all equally. I'd be the same if Giselle was not the best in the banner. I clearly want Giselle more, in all honesty. This lad is saying this Giselle makes me feel things I shouldn't be feeling. That is crazy. Legendary is saying the other two are okay, but I'm summoning for Esno. Gambler of Fate is saying they're all interesting and look amazing. I definitely will be summoning since I haven't summoned on a banner since end of month January. Like I said earlier, right, the first 3 end of month banners, most recent ones have been not must summons. So hopefully that does mean Gambler of Fate or other people that skip those banners, right, have plenty of orbs to summon. And even after summoning on this banner, hopefully that also does mean you have plenty of orbs upcoming for those future big banners. Flow Epic is saying, I like the artwork, but unfortunately it comes very close to the anniversary, so I will not be summoning. And I get it, I hear it. Me personally, when it comes to how I summon on this game throughout the last couple of so years, I always summon on end of month April, and that's the last banner I summon on. May end of month is usually a skip. I might do a few summons depending on the character, but likely I will be skipping it, and then I really only summon a few steps on the swimsuits and just hope to get them later on. So if you do go all in or you summon a large amount on this banner, you should hopefully have plenty of time to save until the anniversary, unless whatever is going to be in June is going to get all your orbs. This lad is saying, as much as I love asking, just going to do the smart thing and save for anniversary. I think a lot of people are going to be doing the same thing. This person says the same thing. Great banner, but they are skipping. And again, like at this point in time, compared to a few years ago, even last year, at this point, skipping a 1000-year Blood War banner was a tough thing to do because there weren't that many. But now we get so many, like every end of the month at this point, even if it's a seasonal, is likely to be 1000-year Blood War. If you skip banners, it's just going to make better banners in the future better. Because what we are seeing now, right, if you skip Tenjo and Oetsu, now this banner has more value because you can go for really good characters as not Giselle Arskin, while also getting potentially Tenjo and also Oetsu. So banners like this, if you aren't super excited for it, if you want to save for the anniversary, over time you will benefit from it. We are seeing characters become fillers a lot sooner than ever. Before it used to be a year, but with so many 1000-year Blood War banners having to rerun, characters like Tenjo and Oetsu, who in my opinion are better than the 9th anniversary part 2 characters, are already fillers. So if you do skip this banner, eventually, maybe near the end of the year, they will become fillers. They will become fillers. But YD is saying all 3 characters look awesome. Keller did an amazing job with the designs like they always do, and they're giving me huge Arcane vibes. You're not the only person to say that, and now with a few of you lads pointing it out that it does give off Arcane vibes, I'm liking the banner even more because Arcane was an amazing series. It got me playing League of Legends. Anyway, planning to do 12 steps, really hoping to get Arskin and GG as soon as possible, and then start saving orbs for June. That's the smart thing to do. Even me, right? Like, a lot of people think I'm going to do 25 steps for this banner. I might not at the same time. It depends how quick I get all 3 characters, because I have enough move sources to 5-5 Giselle the second I get her. And I might just do that and save my orbs for those upcoming banners in June. Scarlett is saying, I got the orbs, so I'll be summoning at least 5 steps. I think I'd recommend most people at least do 5 steps with the filler pool if you're lacking a lot of them. It's definitely worth just testing your luck. The chance of getting something good is higher compared to the past banners, right? Since there's a lot of good characters you can get. As always, you could get shafted even in 5 steps, but maybe it's worth the shot. Gives me Dungeons and Dragons or Harry Potter vibes, which I think is really cool. It does. It's all based on magic, right? Finally, a spiritual pressure Arskin. Bit of a shame his visuals aren't as good as the other 2, but I'm going to try and clear this banner nonetheless. I think it's just the way they designed Arskin. He's kind of like the alchemist, so there's not much you can do, but I think his SA3 looks very good. This one's kind of going against the curve. I mean, we've had a few people say they are skipping, but this person is saying, I'm so happy we got a skippable banner this close to anniversary. My orbs are grateful. Fair enough. Fair enough. Again, having a skip is never a bad thing. More orbs for big banners that you more so care about. Really like this banner. Felt annoyed I couldn't summon straight away, though. I mean, to be fair, that is kind of the norm, right? Banners always get announced 3 days in advance, with very few exceptions, like the most recent mid-month, because they did that whole live stream, which again, if you haven't already clocked on, we are getting another one of those live streams before July. So that means another big banner is coming up. The assumption right now is that it is going to be mid-June, and maybe they will do a very similar banner like they did last year with the 9th anniversary countdown summons. Hopefully, with that in mind, they do announce the banner on the 19th and release on the 19th, because if that's the case, I can be there, live stream, react, and summon for the characters on that day. I will not be able to do that if the banner gets announced on the 16th like the usual, because unfortunately, around that week, I will be on holiday. But continuing on, Michael says, we need more of these banners. I hope we get these regularly, because where are the future society banners? The thing with Caleb, we have seen plenty of times in the past that sometimes a banner can just be a one and done. As bad as that might sound. We've yet to get an Orient Society banner. We've yet to get a Future Society banner again. We've yet to get another Desert Society. So sometimes things are just one and done, so I appreciate it when it happens. Having said that, though, while we haven't spoke about it, I don't think anyone in the comments has also spoke about it. There's a big question regarding this banner, whether it's the vote banner or not. I mean, if this is the vote banner, maybe it would make sense because it does feature 3 seasonal characters in a design very similar to Cacao Society. Maybe Caleb just saw all 3 characters were Cacao Society and they just ended up making its own banner. Maybe. I feel like if it is the vote banner, Caleb should say it, because at this point in time, I don't know when this vote banner will release. I mean, apparently they've been working on these characters since December, even though the voting got done over a year ago back in January. But May end the month is likely to be 1000-year Blood War, June end the month is swimsuits, and then July, August is focused on, anniversary, start of Core 3, a 1000-year Blood War. When are we going to get these vote characters? Is this the vote banner? I'd like to know. And there's no mention of it, unfortunately. And if it is the vote banner, I mean, I can't complain. I voted for both Giselle and Esna. I put Spirit Society, but, I'll take it anyway. Lazy is saying cool design. However, in my opinion, this theme fits Burn the Witch. Imagine how beautiful Nini and Noelle would have looked in a mage outfit. To be fair, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But we technically got that during Halloween. Like, I mean, it was Halloween mage themed. kind of, but, you know, similar enough. Maybe the plan is that Burn the Witch will be swimsuit this year, potentially. So maybe that's why we didn't get these characters now. Or then again, at the same time, maybe Burn the Witch banners are just done. You know, there's no guarantee we ever get a new Burn the Witch banner. But I think with the new Senkaman update, with a no affiliation Senkaman tower, Caleb might be more inclined, more than ever nowadays, to do Burn the Witch. Because if we were to get a Burn the Witch banner, and the fillers were past Burn the Witch characters, even if they're not that great anymore because they are dated, people would still summon for the collection purposes. People would still summon for their, you know, limited rarity. And also, they have more use now because they are no affiliation. So you potentially can summon on a banner, get 9 characters that are no affiliation that you can take into the no affiliation Senkaman tower. And the KP is saying, skip for me, core premise and really good filler, but anniversary is coming up and I just went 25 steps for Okura. Honestly, I don't even need to read anymore. Completely understandable. But they continue to say, wish we'd see a bit more variety in the stun rate since all 3 of them have recent usable units, but fair enough. I get where you're coming from. I really do. Like, out of all the Quincy's, especially ones that I've yet to get put into the game, these 3 characters are really good ones. Giselle has an amazing character. Esnot has 2 characters, and one of them is really good, the most recent speed one. And then Arskin is still the best Brave Battle character, or best team booster in Brave Battles. So I could understand, to a certain extent, the repetitiveness of these characters once more. But then again, it's the first time all 3 of them are seasonal characters, so I still feel like it's a bit different. You know, if Caleb are going to go with seasonal stun raters, you are going to pick the most popular ones. And that's why these 3 characters have been picked. And that's why, you know, Grammy was picked. At this point, all the Bambis have gotten seasonal characters. So while we've only gotten 3 seasonal Quincy banners, they are kind of just completing the checklist of all the popular Quincy's first and foremost. Nigo is saying, great banner, but after going broke for the Kenpachi banner, I needed a few characters from there for their collection. I'm going to say for June end of month and anniversary, that's fair. Surprised though you did summon on it, but I guess you needed the characters. That's honestly great. I think Giselle is slowly going to become a big 1000-year Blood War fan favorite to make seasonals out of. Maybe, but then again, at the same time, I think that can be said for all the Bambis. A good banner, good units with fun kits, good filler pool. Nice to see a new society banner come to the game, but this live says they need to get every Esnot in the game as they are their favorite Sturmritter. I just wish he would get a busted unit for change, and I think Arskin is going to be the new pretty boy for Brave Souls, potentially. And again, I agree with Esnot. At least Esnot has good units though. Like, he hasn't had a single bad character. But yeah, a broken Esnot would be nice to see. They're all cool characters, filler is great, but it just really doesn't pique my interest. Definitely doing 3 steps to see if I can get lucky and pull one of them though. That's fair. It's great, amazing designs, decent filler, good skills, good killers. Easily skippable though for those that want to save orbs, the perfect end of month. And that might be the best way to wrap it up. For those that like it, it's a really good banner. But at the same time, you know, if you skip it, you're not missing out on much. So I think I agree, this very well might be the perfect banner. I thought they would be the vote banner, but it turns out they aren't. Again, it would be nice to know, because I don't know, I don't think it is. I guess the vote banner should be a live stream for the hype, assuming the character is the hype, hopefully, yeah. I want to skip, but the filler said otherwise. Kind of new player-friendly banner, and I think it's worth the pull. I don't have 4 characters from the filler, so I might just pull a bit. They actually look cool and pretty. Gosh, I just love the 1000-year Blood War version. Giselle has the best outfits and best animations. Is it a seasonal banner, so all their skills are low-key good, and their animations, strong attacks, and so on are also pretty. I'm Giselling it. Giselle probably. Not sure what that means, but yeah. Best banner of all time for me. Look cool. Just wish I had enough space on my phone to reinstall the game. Make space. Make space. The game's on Steam. It's on Switch. It's on Xbox. It's on PlayStation. There's other ways to play the game. I don't have Zombietta, and I don't know if I want to go in for this banner or wait for it to return. So I'm thinking of getting Arskin as a mid substitute. I think it'll be better than Ichigo in Guild Quest, and I'm also interested in Esnot and also Giselle, or some fillers. I'm very tempted to go all the way in. That's one thing that's worth talking about. We will talk about it during our Before You Summon tomorrow. But in a way, that might be one of the better parts about Arskin, is that he is a ranged Aranka and also Sniper killer. Now, he is designed to be a farming character, and that's his whole purpose in reality. But given that he is still a somewhat newer character with a good damage output, right? Not as high as the other characters, but still good enough. 2025 relevant at the bare minimum. But he has 2 killers, Aranka and also Sniper. So when it comes to these 2 Guild Quest phases, you know, it's really have the new Giselle, or you can't reliably beat it. You know, you can use 7th anniversary Ichigo, but he has been showing his age. And then for ranged Aranka, right, you have Bambietta. And if you don't have Bambietta, who's not even like the greatest, it's a bit of a struggle. So right now, Ashkin does hold the second best character for ranged Aranka and also ranged Serapis. So I think he has that value. If you are liking the new Giselle, if you are liking the new Bambietta, and if you're tired of using, 7th Annie Ichigo, Ashkin is like a budget Guild Quest character. Hopefully he can be used. I'm actually going to try it myself. And he was given complete status immunity, so you can use him in 2 Guild Quest phases without worrying about having status immunity. Unfortunately, that's something the other Ashkin can't do. Because the other Ashkin, a Brave Battle character of 2 killers, can also be used in 2 phases of Guild Quests. Not like he was supposed to, but he just works there as the booster. But you gotta make him work because you need to give him the immunities. Luckily, we don't need to do that with this Ashkin. If the banner was premium and Giselle was in it, you better believe I'm summoning and buying orbs. Are you mad? So given that Giselle is limited, I guess more reason to summon. Elias the Junko is saying very good and cool banner, but I think I'm going to skip and start saving. While the cards themselves are great, there are plenty of other options that I already have that don't make them an absolute necessity, and that's true. But if you are aiming for higher numbers for those weeks, or don't have good leads or sides, summoning is pretty justified. The Conti is saying, not gonna lie, my first impressions was a new Burn the Witch banner. I thought Giselle was Noelle, and man, I was hyped. Still a cool banner and designs, but Burn the Witch is Burn the Witch, and hopefully again, we do get a new Burn the Witch banner. Plus, I hope it is not another one-time society that Caleb introduces and then forgets about immediately. RIP Future Society. I know earlier I did mention that sometimes, again, societies just get a one-off and that's it. But you never know. Sometimes Caleb go back to it. I mean, in a way, this is technically Caleb going back to Cacao Society, just making it better. So who knows? You might actually see Future Society sometime in the future. Jeff is saying, very excited for this. In the way all 3 Sternritters have creepy OP powers. Could look at it like that. And it's made me excited for the future Sternritter with seasonal outfits. And I see where you're coming from, because this is also like the first time we've had a Sternritter seasonal banner that actually is a society, right? I mean, technically, the last Christmas banner was the Santa Society, but, the swimsuit, Bambi's, the Christmas, Little Toto, and Grammy, they're just like standard seasonal outfits, not Caleb going out of their way to make, whole unique power sets to them. So this is the first seasonal banner that isn't tied to like a Christmas swimsuit, Valentine's, etc. And that's why these characters do stand out a bit, because we're getting them with powers that, are completely different, but still relevant to what their actual power set is in the universe. Esno for some reason has snakes, but it looks kind of cool. I'm here for it. Would love to see a Hushwolf, Basby, and Sangdu, and even Masket units too. While other Sternritters like BG9, Benice, Jerome, Nyanzo, and Shaz didn't get much in the anime, seasonal units can extend them out, and yeah, I'd be down for that, honestly. It might be a while before we get some of those less popular characters, and by the way, still absolutely crazy we've not gotten a BG9. I see always Little Toto getting spoke about. She hasn't had a canon character just yet. At least she has a character. BG9, it feels like he's been forgotten about. I'm sure he's eventually going to happen, and we saw at the start of the year, they can do a Core 2 banner with Esno, and then still put Core 1 characters in there. So BG9 can still happen alongside even Core 3 characters, but it is funny that we are about to start getting Season 3 of Blood War this anniversary, and BG9 still has not been given a character. Milkman is saying easy skip, not hating on them, but not my kind of aesthetic. And they onto the craziest character skill-wise, rather say for anniversary. They seem like seasonals, so they will be put in fillers sooner than later. They aren't classed as actual 1000-year Blood War banners, but I mean, with the way the Blood War fillers are going nowadays, they will become fillers in like 8-ish months. I want to touch upon this comment because I do get it. We spoke about it earlier, right? So this lad says, I'm a little frustrated with Caleb making Giselle the Limit Breaker character again. The other 2 characters have gotten nothing but mediocre SP and NAD units. Maybe I'm biased since Askin and Esno are my favorite Sternritters, but they really get the short end of the stick every time, and there's only so many iteration chances a character can get to get a really good SP unit. Again, with the topic of Guild Quest skills, right? Esno has not had it bad. His first character was overall good. His second character, I think, is really good. Despite the Guild Quest skills, I think he has really cool stuff about him with the triple debuff mechanic he has going for him. I think the Speed Esno is a very good character that people just discredited because they didn't see strong attack damage built into his character kit. But meanwhile, the character has weakening, an increased chance to inflict weakening, 3 different debuffs. They actually made a debuff character work. So I don't want to, I don't agree that, Esno was given mediocre SP units, but at the same time, he wasn't given what Giselle was given, so I do see where you're coming from. Giselle at this point has 2 characters, and both of them have been Limit Breaker. It's one of the best character archetypes because they don't have limited skills, so I see where you're coming from. I would also like Askin and Esnot to be given, Limit Breaker characters, essentially. But I think what they have been getting thus far has been good. More so as not, because Arskin has been given 2 Nat characters, but at least now he has a decent SP unit. If we scroll down, though, maybe there's some hot takes at the bottom before we wrap up the video, because we can't go through every comment. Amazing characters, but easy skip. Altogether now, we love Giselle. Yes, we do. Skip. This lad is saying, never been a fan of non-canon or original BBS units, so thank God it's a skip, which my orbs are in desperate need of after summoning on all the banners since the end of year. And that's fair, not everyone likes original characters, and that's why, right, like I said earlier, the banner schedule we have been getting thus far, where every month it cycles between a seasonal or a canon character, I think it's pretty cool, because if you only care about seasonals, you get the save for 2 months. If you only care about canon characters, you get the save for 2 months. And if you do like canon characters and you don't like seasonal characters, well, we just got some really cool canon units with Okiura and also Ichigo. Honestly, not a fan of Giselle or Arskin, and they did my favorite Quincy dirty, so I'll do 5 steps. Just wish Esnot was a better character. I get it. I get it, right? I think Esnot's good, though. For a Nat character, sure, you can still use him everywhere but Limit Breaker. You're fine. And again, now you can use them in Guild Quest, right? And again, now you can use them in Senkamon, so you're chilling. Just Keanu is saying that Giselle is a copy and paste of the last Giselle. Very similar, to be fair. It's actually very funny. A lot of similar skills. Both have an EX attack that whole purpose is to inflict Dominate. This time now Giselle's Dominate Plus. I'm here for it though. Don't mind. Unfortunately, though, this lad got excited thinking that Arskin, judging from my thumbnail, was actually Aizen. And that's just the funny part about, Arskin's design. He does look very similar to Aizen, so I kind of don't blame you. Corey is saying they done ruined Arskin for the 3rd time. His kit is very bad, and he's a farmer. And again, this is why characters are designed for Guild Quest more often than not, because when you have farmers, we have a lot of people. This is not just Courier saying it. We have a lot of people. I kind of, in a way, share the same opinion, that the character, in a way, is kind of useless. If you've been playing the game for a while, you don't need to farm characters anymore, or like farm resources, because you have the anniversary co-op events coming back like every 3 months. You have the Brave bonuses, login stuff. If you played the game enough, you just don't need farming characters. And that is why a lot of characters nowadays have been designed for Guild Quests. And this person says the same thing, right? Finally, we got a Sports Pressure Arskin. Would have rathered him be more GQ focused or something, because I do not need pots, but I'll take what I can get. Esnot, though, is too cool to be a NAD unit. Love GG, but she was already the prize of the previous banner, so I wish the others got it instead. Shame the Reminisce ticket doesn't have any of them. That's important to know. By the way, the upcoming free ticket that we are going to get for logging in does not include any of the new characters. Fillers are great, but I'm only missing 2 of them. Probably do 5 to 10 steps and save for June mid-month, as I'm expecting something big for that. And yes, that would be the smart play to do. Apotheosis says this is what people voted for. Well, either way, easy skip. This lad says the same thing. Quite surprising, but a good one. Is this the vote banner? We honestly don't know. If it is, it maybe makes sense, because these 3 stun riches are popular. At the time of the voting, Esnot had only been given 1 character. Giselle was not in the game, and Arskin also only had 1 character from years ago. So if it was the vote banner, it makes sense to a certain extent, but we can't say for certain. And I guess we're going to end up with Jode's comment saying, hot take, this is skippable. I don't think it is a hot take. I think a lot of people are excited, mostly just based on the characters and not so much what they offer, but what they do offer is good. Sure, Giselle might make GQ easier, but I'm already confident that a 5/5 white can clear it, and he should be able to, especially with good NAD units. Arskin is neat, but Hallibell does exist, and Esnot is good, but Nell plus Candish should breathe through his range Captain GQ. I'm doing a couple steps at most, and that's basically the best way to look at it, right? Going back to the comment that we had earlier, I can't find it, but in a way that makes this the perfect end of the month banner. You have really cool, popular characters getting their first ever seasonal units. The designs are great, the fillers are great. The characters themselves are good too. Like, there's not a bad character here. Whether you don't need farming characters or not, farming characters should still exist, and Arskin is a good farming character. But at the same time, the FOMO isn't that big because you can afford to skip it. If you care about GQ scores, or if you just want to clear guild quests, there's other past characters that do that job just well. If you want to stay like top 5 S League, then maybe you do need the summon, but that's not like majority of the player base, right? But either way, I think I went on a bit too long during this video, so hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.